I'd stake my reputation on this being an ambush.
Keep your guard up. Whoever got to them may still be nearby.
How'd you get past my traps anyway? Just remember, I still got bullets, in case you get any funny ideas. What are you doing out here anyway? That feels a mite better. Wish I had something to give you, but I gnawed through my last Spratwurst an hour ago. Cave like this makes a handy place to store goods or hide out for a spell. And the traps usually keep gawkers out. Catherine had us making drops for some big-shot client out here. And before you ask, I don't know who... The whole point of making drops in the middle of nowhere was to keep their identity and whereabouts. The Marauders knew we were coming. Rigged the bridge with If they found us... Sounds right. If you got the sand to go after him, I'm sure Catherine can reward... Me? I'm headed back to Fallbrook, just as soon as I've caught my...
Hey, Max. What does your religion say happens to us after we die?
The body returns to the universe from whence it came. I'm sure you've seen a corpse in the various stages of decay.
Why do we exist in the first place, then? What the hell's the point?
Our lives contribute to the betterment of the human race. Everyone has a part to play for the greater advancement.
I ain't got a part. Life ain't a damn cereal.
You helped people survive the Monarch evacuation, did you not? Perhaps one of them will go on to unlock godhood for the human race.
Well, if they do, I hope they remember who pulled them from the jaws of raptidons.
Just that good.
Hey, over here. Well, I'll be. You lost too, miss? Name's Elroy. Elroy Booth. I've been out and about, making deliveries for the Fallbrook folks, and I seem to have gotten myself turned around. Oh, sure. I'll get on out of here soon after you do. If it's all the same to you, I'll wait till you're nice and out of sight before heading back. Can't be too careful. You go on. I'll see you out in the wilderness.
Fallbrook's on the other side of the bridge there if you need a drink. We're only halfway to the mountain, so might consider stopping in.
Don't mess with us! On our way.
Look northwest. That ain't it, but marauders sometimes camp inside the buildings there. Steer clear unless you fancy getting shot. Westbound still. I'll let you know when we can start ascending.
I don't mean to judge, but are you ever sober, Miss Remnorine Wentworth?
Only when I got a job to do, and even that ain't a guarantee.
You look like a woman who's looking for some...
Sebastian, you ever get your hands on those pheromone sacs? Manipillars ain't gonna hunt themselves, you know.
I must have hunted a dozen, but I couldn't find a single sack on any of...
Manipillars ain't got pheromone sacs. I just told him that so he'd stop asking me for advice.
At least I'm getting a good haul of claws in the process. You're in good hands, traveling with Monarch's top merc. Still, if you want to... You look like a woman who's looking for... He'll probably be wanting it back. Funny place to leave a journal. That's pretty sad. He sure's...
Anyone fool enough to chase after a queen is pretty fucking far from the know what they're doing class of people.
So this journal is all he left behind? Seems like I ought to read it. I bet she'll like that. She's real in any case, I appreciate you tracking down Mr. Pickett for me. Huh?
Trouble checking in? Or you might need directions to the amenities? If you're locked out of your No reservation? No problem. Day trippers are always welcome in our saloon. Straight back, check in with Ms. Malin. I am here to anticipate... Guess it's true. Fallbrook really is the best-kept secret in all of Monarch. Excepting the Borst Factory's secret ingredient. We're a leisurely stopover for the more adventurous... Swell. We like quick-on-the-draw types like you. Saloon is straight back and to the right. Once you're feeling sated, Ms. Malin... You're looking for Ms. Malin. On an errand for the boss lady? That sounds ominous. Yeah. Ms. Malin won't like that a whit. She's not but just down the way. A 10 to 1 says she's either pouring drinks or skinning a sprat in the saloon. Word to the wise, Ms. Malin don't take kindly to interlopers.
Time for a round of whist. Or a round of whiskey. Or both.
Take a gander at that mug. I ain't ever...
Watch yourself, Captain. This guy's got eyes like a sprat set on stealing your dinner.
Oh, now, come on. You don't seem like the usual pigeons we pluck. No offense, of course, if you are a Byzantium goblin. Say, I'd like to do you a favor. Might I interest you in a surefire scheme? I certainly hope you're not insinuating the problem is me. If there's any issue, really, you should talk to her. Oh, right. Pure and simple, it's like this. I run our drug delivery service. Recently, I had the genius idea to cut costs in half by swapping our autoloaders with faster, cheaper... Too right you are. Only problem is my sprat carriers ain't arrived. As I was saying, you look more capable than most of the hoople heads around. In return, I'll... I run my sprat carriers back and forth through the shipping tunnels near the waterfall. Ought to check their... Good luck. And don't get any ideas about pilfering... Was that sarcasm? I'm going to assume it was not. If it's sarcasm, my sprat carriers scurry back and forth through the shipping tunnels. Any trail ought to start there. When you've...
You seen Arthur?
Stars, I can't remember. Days.
You don't think he got crushed during the bridge collapse?
His team running that drop? Sure puts things into perspective.
Hey, you!
Hey, Cass. Knock, knock.
Go away, White.
That's not how the game works. I say, knock, knock, like I'm on the outside of the door. And you say...
This is Reginald's stuff, all right, but it looks like he's not home. Let's search the room. Try to figure out where he's gone.
I lost a shipment out for delivery.
Sounds like Cheney's gone gold panning down on the river. I guess even scholars need to find ways to make ends meet in exile.
Hungry?
No refunds, no exchange. Town sublight owned and run. Caters to a variety. The one you want to avoid pissing off the most is Catherine. Prove bad for her business, and she'll kneecap you without a second thought. Yeah, and? Do I look like the city planner? But now that you mention it... We got smugglers, outlaws, mavericks, and Byzantium socialites flying in and out of Fallbrook all the time. Why openly spit in the board's eye? It might be that you're right. But I got no... Ask me again if... Yeah, but now... We got... They're so self-important the way they strut around, preening and flashing their pricey gadgets. Makes for easy marks.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Can you not see I'm walking here? Physically, you mean? In my mind, I have traveled galaxies. I'm not entirely decided. If I'm being honest, I think I'd fancy a visit to Tartarus.
Like a rapt among the rocks.
Not so fast! What do you think you're doing?
I don't want any trouble out of you.
Welcome to the offices of the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. Halcyon's... I'm obligated to inform you that our coverage does not extend to incidents deemed... Some people, but no one in this office, I assure you.
Obviously too common an ailment for insurance to cover.
So, what kind of insurance package? We're not on Monarch. For all practical and tax-related purposes, this office is an official enclave of Byzantium. Legally speaking, corporations are not allowed to operate on Monarch, but financially speaking, there are certain costs to running a business from within Byzantium's walls. So while our official address is in the city, and while our office here is technically an extension of that address, we found it more expedient to conduct our key operations here. So we can... what's the phrase? We prefer to think of it as chasing the savings. Turns out that not having to pay kickbacks, fines, and rent in the most expensive city in Halcyon improves our liquidity. Plus, Sublight keeps this place running remarkably well, and they sure drive business our direction. Plenty. We've insured unusually expressive eyebrows, outrageous statements, disastrous usually character actors, or corporate execs with menacing That policy is almost exclusively for our corporate clients. In the unlikely event they make a claim about a product that turns out to be less than accurate, they need some kind of protection against the damage to their sales and reputation. Those are mostly for top-rungers in Byzantium who have a lot of social and financial capital wrapped up in their marriage contracts. There's one for your beloved eloping with your sibling, your beloved eloping with their sibling, scandalous rumors forcing you apart, the revelation of a secret love child. We try to cover every possible... One thing's for sure.
Who's like...
Ain't looking for trouble, no.
You don't look like a smuggler nor a dandy. Catherine send you back here? On second thought, it's best if I don't know. What's your order? No, I don't have any... If it's only a drink you're after, the full bar's upstairs. This here's the ante up, where you place your bets. Tossball, autoloader races, card games, you name it. I ain't picky. And neither is Catherine. We'll both break your legs if you lose, then shirk on paying.
Uh-huh. You blind little... Why is it every sissy pig fucker who strolls into my town expects me to smile and shout awful friendly? Welcome to Fallbrook. Only nugget of paradise in this entire law-forsaken land. Like a void damn advert.
Crude but forthright. I admire that.
Truthfully spoken, I do aim to properly represent my aforementioned nugget of paradise. You know, I ain't heard that one before. Suppose I'll have to work harder to show you just what makes our town shine. But first, I'll need to know what brings you, stranger. Well, I'm half listening. I'll presume you mean Arthur, the one you sent scurrying back like a sprat with his tail cut off? Reckon I'm happy he's alive. I'd be happier if the marauders who botched my drop were dead. If it's one that don't mind getting dirty, then I sure do. There's a Borst factory on up the way, run by a man who calls himself the King. Clive Lundberg, insufferable prick. That aside, it's a business ripe for the plucking. I want it. Clear as that. Stars, I hope so. Clive Lundberg, the self-proclaimed Borst King of Monarch, is swimming in profit and drowning in his ego. He's making the only meal to be had this side of Monarch, and I'm tired of ponying up for my dinner. I want that Borst factory, owner dead or alive. And you're the soon-to-be handsomely paid fucker who's gonna get it for me. Kill him, run him out. I don't rightly care for the details, so long as Clive knows resistance to me is costly and futile. Hit him where it hurts. In his gut or his production lines ought to make do. If you got brass knockers, you could shoot your way through the front gate. If you don't fancy getting shot to shit, you can try asking Duncan for a disguise. Might be another way in, assuming you're courageous enough to trek the sewers. Void if I know. Then I'd say you might care to poison the cysty pigs, doctor a few financial records, or throw a wrench in the canning machinery. It'll be more than good when you're finished. Maybe... Oh, and if you don't fancy going in guns blazing or crawling through a sewer pipe, see Duncan in the dry goods and sundry building. He ought to have an employee ID in that stash of illicit goods he keeps for select clientele. May luck be with... How's... Sure. Good of you to finally haul your ass over here. I wired for backup. Got something that's gonna require special extraction from Cascade. So you got a brain on them shoulders. Excellent. Makes my life a world easy. To extract the gas, you'll need to siphon it from the lab in Cascadia into one of your ship's fuel tanks. Meaning safe for me and my crew. Seeing as it ain't us undertaking. Hold your thrusters. I ain't even got to the... To get to the gas, you'll need to navigate through the town. The lab itself has become an infested nest, crawling with mantis. You gotta fight through or figure...
And will again. We ought to be taking any opportunity we get to bury those...
Direct and aggressive. I always did like your sensibilities. You know when to strike and when to wait. Shame what came of your crew.
Crews are for ships. They were a family.
Close enough. Now, after you clear the manti nest and reach... The task will require someone with technical skills. Or you could force it through with a plasma overload. Don't recommend... Dandy. Did I mention the gas is of an extreme... Once you've got our goods, I've marked the coordinates for you to the lab in Cascadia. Use the passcode Antediluvian on the terminal. The best...
Folks I never met before are my most... So... Let me just stop you right there, stranger. My question... Not unless it accompanies some... More than you... Your eyes do... If you're asked... Ms. Malin built the bar, the...
Glad you made it out. Hope you got the bastards that hit us.
Catherine's great, ain't she? She'll pull you out of the sulfur, so long as you don't mind being in her debt.
Efficient, clever, ruthless. I like her.
We are hardcore enough as it is. Go away!
Always imagined Fallbrook would be...
cleaner, fancier, stocked with better booze.
cheaper. I've emptied 14-bit carts in the last 2 hours.
That's because you've got a terrible tell.
Can I help you? Don't think we've spoken before. Most of the freshies spend their first night in the saloon. Fresh to Fallbrook, I mean. Me? I'm real friendly. Figure I've talked up everyone in town by now.
Every day I've been here has been my lucky day. Never won so much. Aside from a close call during my wilderness hike, it's been a grand adventure. I'm dreadful blessed. You heard that right. Wilderness almost got me pushing up daisies. If I wasn't so fleet-footed, I never would have escaped them raptidons to outrun them. Well, it's my first shore leave with the crew, and my... you wouldn't have heard of them. They're just a small pot of smugglers. Kept getting their so they hired on a merc. They didn't mind my being so talkative, or them being my first protection gig. Captain Criley, he does ask me to shut it sometimes. In fact, I probably shouldn't be flapping my gums about... Captain warned us. Mid-morning, I thought I'd try Fallbrook's self-guided wilderness. Scarcely made it back. Look for the horns and you can't miss it. Massive curved stone peak. Right.
If you're feeling like the civilized type, the waterfall's a good spot to wash your clothes.
My big carts are fully loaded and ready to be spent. Bring on the recreation.
I've been mulling over everything. Upon further reflection, Graham's not as much of an idiot as I thought he'd be. But in other ways, he's worse. He's an unhinged zealot who lacks awareness of the consequences of his choices. I wouldn't trust him. As much as I usually appreciate the board's ordered approach to governance, in Monarch's case, they aren't really running anything so much as leaving everyone to rot. Unless you agree with them that the inhabitants of Monarch should be forced to evacuate, or die from their stubborn rebelliousness. Zora is militant, unbending, and ruthless for sure. I'd be hesitant to oppose her. But she gets results, and she doesn't suppress intelligent discourse. Can't say I agree with the iconoclasts, but Zora has what it takes to save Monarch.
No rubberneck. Not so fast. She needs it for a job? Well, why didn't you say so? Reckoned you asked her where to best procure one, and she obligingly pointed you my way. Give me a jiffy to break. I mean, calibrate the ID. This goes like that. That'll do it. Careful. I'm trusting you to guard this specialty good with your life. I mean it. Lose the ID and you don't get another. Also, you'll be off my list of, will that be all?
You seen Arthur today?
Between you and me, Preacher, I don't think we can trust Sam.
On that point, we're in agreement.
I keep catching that bucket of bolts around my room. It says it's cleaning up bottles, but I ain't buying it.
You think you could be a board spy?
Oh, fuck. You could be onto something. I'll tell you this much. If it tries to sell me another void-forsaken cleaning instrument, I'm kicking it out of the airlock.